Well, hello, fellow addicts. Welcome back to Addicts Live, your internet escape from the craziness in the world. I'm Alissa, your resident head addict, and I'm joined, as always, by my co host to the north, but the American north this time, Super Safi.
Hello, everyone. Yep, back in upstate New York. So, yeah, hope everyone's having a great Saturday and been enjoying the past few Saturdays and looking forward to what's happening this Saturday.
Yes, the Addicts Crew is back once again to bring you Simpsons news and Saturday smiles, but on a Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, today's a special day in the world of TSTO. Today, March 1st, marks the 10-year anniversary of TSTO's release to the Apple App Store. And boy, do we have a special way to celebrate. We're celebrating with the very first Addicts Live roundtable. Although, like, it's not really round, more like computer grid, maybe like Brady Bunch grid screen. uh, with the community of TSTO addicts. I'm very excited about this because we get to hear live from the members of the addicts community about TSTO, what it's meant to them, their favorite events, their thoughts on TSTO in general. I'm super excited about this. We've done a few look back episodes now, and we've got a very special finale one airing this Saturday, so be sure to look for that. And I'll give you a hint: a very special guest makes a return. This very special member of Addicts makes a return, and it's actually titled "The So and So Returns" or "The Return of the So and So." I'm not going to give it away yet, but I think most of you can figure that one out. But I think this one we're recording now, is going to be my favorite because we're hearing directly from you guys. So I'm really excited about that. So without further ado, let's bring on the members of the Addicts community and get this party started. So joining Super Safi and I on the show we've got Paul.
Hey, everyone.
And we've got Ralphie Wiggum.
Hey.
And we have Benjamin.
Hello.
And on the phone, we have the one, the only Graham.
Hello.
And then, of course, everybody knows Super Safi. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is the first Addicts Live. I'm calling it a round table, even though we're not at a table. And Zoom isn't round. We're not on Zoom. We're on Skype anyway. But so what I kind of want to start off with is I'd like to talk about everybody, when you started playing TSTO, how you started playing TSTO as we celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the game, which is actually the day of this airing, which is Tuesday, March 1st. So let's start with, I'm just going to go with how you guys are viewed on my screen. I have no idea how this is going to appear on the episode itself, but so I'm just going to kind of go in a direction here. So Ralphie, we'll start with you. When did you start playing TSTO and how did you find it? What made you, download the game?
Actually, I was always a huge fan of the series, and I think I discovered the game in 2014, and I just downloaded it. It was around Christmas, and so I was 13 years old, so I was kind of young, actually. And throughout the years, I've had many different towns. The biggest one, I lost it due to the password glitch. Well, not the glitch, but the password issue that many players had. So my current one, I started last year, I think, and I'm around level 150. So here's for me. It was kind of difficult to finally have a real town that I can control, but here's for me.
Yeah. Well, that's good though. I mean, you've gotten pretty far considering you had to restart all over again. I don't know that a lot of us would have done that. I know I would.
Yeah. As a huge fan, even when I decided to stop playing the game due to the timetable issue, I've always come back like 2 months after and always follow the addicts, even when I wasn't playing the game. So
we appreciate that.
Yeah, and I knew I would be coming back to the game, even when I'm only read the articles without commenting it, just to like keep updated to the game. But
Okay.
in the end, I always like view the series and watch the seasons when I was not playing. So it was kind of obvious to me to come back to the game.
All right, so you started playing in 2014, and then you had to restart this past year. Right,
Yeah,
Benjamin?
I came back. My main city was during 2017 and 2019, I think.
Okay.
Around about. And after I stopped like for 1 year. And after I come back and I had the password issue, so I decided to restart another city that I had. It was on around level 20, and I put myself to it to really come back to this town and make the game. I think I restarted like when the password issue came, so it was maybe in December 2021.
Okay.
So here's the thing.
Benjamin, how about you? When did you start playing?
I started about 9 years ago. I was into a lot of city building games, and that's kind of was recommended to me. So I was like, I like Simpsons. I'll try it out, and I've been playing ever since, nonstop.
It's addictive, right?
Addictive. It's hard to stop.
It's very hard to stop. Paul, how about you?
I started probably on the weirdest event you could start with, which was the season 24 yard sale.
Oh, that
It
is
came, yeah, it came right after Whacking Day. I can't remember exactly how I stumbled upon the game. I don't know if I was like looking for other Simpsons games or just saw something on Facebook. But it was about a couple days before I graduated from college. And I just remember very distinctly just kind of falling into the game and starting there. It was a strange event because I didn't have like any donuts because I just started. So trying to, only have pretty much donut offerings. But yeah, so I guess my first real event was the Squidport expansion, which is probably a pretty good way to start.
Yeah, much better than the yard sale. I mean, that's just spending donuts. That's not even I would even call that an event. Just here, give us your money.
Exactly.
Graham, how about you?
I actually was messing about with Plants vs. Zombies.
Okay.
And as much as I like technology, I didn't have a touchscreen. I'm playing it on a laptop, BlueStacks with a touchpad, and was doing all right until they got the level where they all come marauding at you and got annihilated. And decided to buy a tablet. And while I was looking, there was a link in the game for The Simpsons, and I just thought, I'll give that a try. And I never actually bothered going back to Plants vs. Zombies. I just stuck with Tapped Out back in the winter of 2015, 3 days or so before the end of Act 1. So I've got a pile of snow somewhere. And to this day, I've no idea why I spent so much effort working on upgrading a squishy station.
Yeah,
I haven't got a clue what I was doing.
That Christmas event, yeah, a lot of upgrades. They were obsessed with upgrades in that around that time. It was kind of crazy. So let's go ahead.
Taskbook went haywire, and I had no idea. Every single thing seemed to be yellow. You've got to do this now. And it's like, oh god, which one do I concentrate on?
It's true. It can be very overwhelming, especially when you start in the middle of an event.
So we have like a broad range, like 2013, 14, 15 gameplay start. I was just curious when you guys actually started to come to Addicts to Tsto Addicts, and when you guys discovered our site. Ralphie, when did you discover Tsto Addicts?
Actually, when I started in 2017, I went to a Facebook groups, a French one, who was posting articles and who was kind of inspired from the Tsto Addicts. So that's how I really discovered your sites. And so after I became one of the writers on the game, like on the website of the game, and so I used to really read all the articles of Tsto Addicts, and I comment and everything. So yeah, like 5 years ago.
Oh, cool. And Benjamin?
I think for me, I found you guys when with Clash of Towns came on.
Clash of Clones.
Clash of Clones, that's it. Yeah. And I was really confused about what was going on, and I was like trying to look it up. And so then I was like stumbling on all these sites, and I finally found yours, and I was like, oh, this is one I can actually follow along with and figure out what I'm doing. So that's how I found you guys.
And it's probably because we
following
were
ever since.
confused. We were just as
We were
confused.
just as confused as you, yeah. How about you, Paul? When did you discover Tsto Addicts?
I think it was pretty quick after I started playing. I think by the Squidport expansion, I had already found it, but I was had three or four different sites or wikis or stuff to look at, and I was bouncing between them. And I don't know what it got me at the end of the day, bouncing between multiple sites, because the content was all generally the same, but I just remember religiously going and checking all four of them a couple of times a day to see what, I was needed to know to play the game, since it was so confusing in the early days.
No, definitely. That's what brought me to Tsto Addicts too, was the confusion and trying to find some place where I can get answers and see what was going on, as well as to make neighbors. How about you, Graham? When did you come across Tsto Addicts?
Originally, just looking friends requests, seeing what I could find on Google and the forum and yourselves. And then, if you remember, in the early days, the events were never on a particular timetable. So you'd think there's an event coming, you go check the App Store constantly all the way through and give up and think, oh, it's not happening this week. And then you do a neighbour's visit and it says, they've got newer content, you need to go upgrade. You know, oh, how far behind am I? So I'd come and I'd find a calendar. And daft as I was, I'd just put the calendar up and I wouldn't look at the other information at first until I started to notice, hang on, there's things I can read here, there's things I can learn. Idiot.
It's okay. I know no one reads this. No one actually reads the words we write. Just everybody looks at the pictures on the calendar. I know. It's okay.
I read word for word. Even the should I buys. I mean, my main town now has got a donut count like you wouldn't believe, and I still read the should I buys.
I do the same thing.
Hey, I do the same thing. Oh wait, I write them. Well, I assess them before I buy them. So let's talk a little bit about. So everybody's kind of started, in these what I call the early days of TSTO. So a lot of you have been around for a while. You've played through a lot of events. So what would you say? And I know it's like picking your favorite children, and that's hard to do. What would you say? But everybody has a favorite. Is your favorite event that you've played in the game? Ralphie, we'll start with you again.
I think I have two in mind.
Okay.
I'd say the Destination Springfield, which was really one of the biggest events to me, because the concept was really different. The fact that we could travel in different countries and discover really something, like being in, I don't remember, I think it was 1 week at the time, like only for each act.
Mm-hmm.
It was really something different. So I really appreciate this one. Or the Homer Palooza, as a huge fan of music. The fact that we could send characters on podiums to perform music, things, it was really great. And the two updates were really my favorite in the game. Even when I started in the early days, I didn't find another update that I was really obsessed with.
Okay.
So yeah.
I mean, and who could forget the Osaka flu with Destination Springfield?
Yeah, obviously.
And Destination Springfield not have the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
A little taste of France.
Yeah. Although I lost this town, I still have a good memory of this one.
I don't think that update would fly these days with that infecting everyone with the Osaka flu.
Yeah.
If only it was as easy to get rid of COVID as it is the Osaka flu, but
we hope so.
We got the amazing Smoking Monkeys right now. He's he's not the PC.
But Benjamin, how about you? What's your favorite update?
I think it was early on when they first did Krusty Land, and back when we go and you have to go to another part of the Simpsons to actually build Krusty Land. I thought that was an interesting take on adding Tate Simpson and having to go to a separate place to build a theme park. I didn't like it when they integrated it all into one. I was not a fan of that. I'm still not a fan of that, but I put it over in the new Springfield Heights, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah, Krusty Land. I remember that was a task and a half, that update.
Yeah, I really love Krusty Land, and I love that it was separate. And I'm like you, Benjamin, I'm not a fan of it coming into the main Springfield. It has its pros, but it's just a lot harder to send characters to earn Krusty Land tickets, especially the ones that go to the overeat buffet and we earn like crazy amounts of currency, 200 currency for like a 5-hour task. You have to kind of scroll through all your characters to find those ones. And as you guys all know, I've like already hit 2 billion real estate value. I've already maxed out my cash, and I've been trying to max out my Krusty Land tickets. I'm at almost 4 billion. But yeah, it's so much harder now when you can't select the characters. You have to scroll through all of them and try to remember which ones have task in Krusty Land.
Pen and paper.
This is faster to go to Krusty Land.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I hate Krusty Land.
I
was not upset. I'm somebody who has, despite Sideshow U giving you 5 donuts, I've still never gotten them when I've played it because I don't play it. Safi's always like, "How have you not gotten it? You should get it like twice a year." And I'm like, "No, I don't play it. I only play it when the daily challenge tells me to." And I like the characters. I mean, it's an unpopular opinion, I'm sure, but I like the stuff being in Springfield because then it's easier for me to actually collect Krusty Land tickets because otherwise I just forgot about it. So, but it's update-wise, it was a good update when it came out, and it was something different and totally like out there. Like I remember when Krusty Land hit, that was the first time like you left Springfield to go somewhere, and no other game was doing that at that time. And then I remember when it's totally an offshoot here, but Family Guy, when that had this Star Trek update, and you left Quahog to go on to the well, I'm such not a Star Trek person, but was it the Starship Enterprise, the Millennium Falcon?
Enterprise.
I don't even know.
Yeah, Enterprise.
And it was kind of like everybody's like, "Hey, they're just ripping off Tsto," because they were the first to do that. So it was a neat, fun event and like a very novel, creative idea. So that's a good one. I haven't heard that one yet, so that's a good one. Paul, how about you?
So I was glad when Krusty Land came back into Springfield. It was a pain to reorganize and whatnot, but once I got it in there, I was kind of glad to have it. But Safi, I will caution, I think once you max out your Krusty Land tickets, the converting to cash function no longer works for some reason. It's been a glitch that I've been running into.
I think it stops that option once you hit 3 billion tickets, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
Not that anybody needs cash anymore, but
yeah.
But my favorite event, it was nice when you talked with Bunny last week about the Terwilligers event. That one was a lot of fun for me. And Stonecutters everybody loves. But I think besides those two, the casino event was probably my favorite. There's something about gambling, right? I mean, getting to try to collect tokens, and I liked putting collecting all the craftables of the stars for the Walk of Fame, and doing all of that. To me, it's those events where they add some like new, unique element, like digging for bones or whatever it was in the museum event, and to me, those little mini games really made it fun. I hope they bring some of those back in the future.
You're going to really like the episode we recorded that's airing on Saturday. So we're recording this prior to this airing. There's an episode that went up Saturday, and I'll link that in the corner. You're going to really like that because we talk a lot about the casino and we talk a lot about those mini events, and Stonecutters too. So you're going to like that one. But that's a good one. The casino event, the best part about that was the games. I mean, and especially when you're gambling with pretend money, it's great. You don't have to worry about losing your shirt. So that's a good one. Yeah.
I wish they could have kept those in the game long term, like they did with some of the other mini events, where you could just even for cash or something play them, because they were some good games, playing rolling dice and all that.
The worst thing about that is you have the buildings and they do nothing. It's like you could have left the game in there. Even if it's like one game, you know, you get to play it once a day or something like that. You could have left them in there. Graham, how about you?
Yeah, ironically, the casino event was the first event after I started where I'd got half an idea what I was doing. And like you say, the mini games were brilliant. And then later on, you got stuff like the sci-fi event with the Polyvac and the spy one with the surveillance station. You could go and tap on it, and you could go and just shoot down robots or go and hunt whatever they were. But the casinos, you couldn't go back and play the games afterwards. And it's a bit of a shame that. And strangely, most of my favourite events are the little daft ones, like Crook and Ladder and Homer the Astronaut and Chiliad. And the little mini game with the Chiliad. Rather than the bigger events. A lot of the bigger events, by the time you get from one end to the other, so much time's gone by, you've forgotten your name, never mind when you started and what you were doing.
It's true. So you think, even though you still can't play the game, you think casinos is your favorite?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a good one. It was a really good one. Now, let me ask you guys this, and this is something we haven't really brought up in any other episode, but since I have you all here, and Graham kind of brought it up, you all have played when there were level updates, right? So you didn't. Now there are there's level updates up to 60, but we used to wait, and we used to get a level update. And so it would be like a big event, and then maybe if we were lucky, we'd get a level update that had a character building combo as a freemium item, where that was one use of spending your cash. Now there's no use for it. And then you had a premium combo, and that was like your side task to do before the next event. But now we have mini events, and the mini events have replaced the level updates. So which do you prefer? Did you prefer the level updates, or do you prefer the mini events? Like, do you like the mini events now, or, you know, what style of gameplay is your favorite? I'm going to start with Graham on this. So I'm just going to work backwards.
So I suppose the advantage with the level updates is somebody that came to the game now could carry on if there was a level 70, 80, 90. Whereas if they missed mini events, like I'd love to get the Crook and Ladder back, get the fire station. But either they re-release it, or it comes back as a returning content or a mystery box somewhere, or I'll just have to tick along after I started the second game a couple of years ago. So a lot of things that I've already got in my main town, I can't get again because they were time-limited events. So having the levels was great. I mean, when they expanded it and it hit level 939, and I'm looking at some of my neighbours, and they're on level 939 the day it happened. I didn't. And
they got in serious trouble because their games froze on them because they couldn't wait.
Yeah,
that's a big issue.
I didn't understand farming back then. It's enough to say that I do now. But if they were things that you could go back to, or you could come to as you get through, and you get to level 60, and then you could go and do the mini events, even if they release them in sequence. Ironically, you remember I'm forgetting the generic name for this glitch, the rollback glitch. There's the one. When there was a load of re-release, and I don't know if that was some hacker that had a go at bringing the mini events back, or EA did it and somebody tried hacking it, and it caused no end of hassle for a huge number of players.
So this is just an aside. If anybody remembers the first episode of Addicts Live we had this year, when we came back after our summer break, the fire alarm went off at Safi's hotel. It's currently going off.
So yeah, I think I should be leaving the hotel room.
So Safi may leave us. We can't make this up. So Saf, just let me know. I'll bring you back in.
It can't be for my cigarette, surely.
You can't make it up. I'm telling you, it's pretty funny.
All right, I will calling me from my phone, I guess.
Yeah, just let me know, and I'll bring you back in.
Sounds great.
I'll send you the link.
I think that's just a secret alarm for saying the word rollback glitch.
I think so. It's like a.
Oh, dear.
It's so funny. It's just so funny. You can't make that up. Paul, what would you let's try to get back on
Level update.
level update or mini event? Which do you prefer? What do you like better?
So I really liked the level updates and was kind of sad when they phased them out, although I thought it was kind of cool how they did phase them out with having the Homer layers and kind of the whole storyline that they had of like why they were phasing it out. But then the mini events were so good. Like we were mentioning earlier, the Crook and Ladder, like each mini event had its own kind of mini game or different element to the game. And I think they did bring them back like a year later. They had like if you missed out on them, you could kind of catch up. But now I think it's just too far gone to do that because the prize tracks probably wouldn't make sense half the time, given that a lot of that same content comes back in mystery boxes. So you'd be, having random prizes that you've already gotten throughout the track. But I'd like to see them do that again with the mini events instead of just having them be like a shorter version of a main event. And go back to that style of just having something unique. I mean, the Northwest expansion or whatever that event was, mini event was called. Yeah, that one, I mean, kind of was harkening back to like those types of mini events, but I don't foresee them doing that a lot. I think that was kind of a one-time kind of big update.
That also was one of the only mini events we've ever gotten information from EA from. So you could tell that they were really excited about it. Like they couldn't wait to share the info with us because they like thought they had this brilliant idea, and it was pretty clever. It was a lot of fun. Hey, Safi's back. It was a lot of fun, and it was a good mini event. We haven't seen those in a while.
Special splash screen. That was for a mini event.
It's a good thing when they come up with a new splash screen for a mini event. Benjamin, how about you?
I like the level updates when it first started. It made sense to me. When they phased it out, I was kind of disappointed. I was kind of bummed. I wasn't one of those that would use the donuts to like hurry my way through the levels. I didn't see the point in it, so I just kind of went on my own pace to make them, which is fine. I didn't mind the little splash screens with the free donut, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
The mini updates, I like doing them. Like he said, the Northbound one was really nice. I'm still trying to get all the freaking pieces of the land because I don't want to buy used donuts to do it. I just want to go slow and get them for free instead of wasting my donuts. So.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's the exact same way I'm playing. Sappy's doing the same thing. Like there's nothing wrong with taking your time with that land.
Right, but I would like to see more more something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's EA stepped it up and then like really let us down the beginning of the year with the first mini event. And I think I said in that Addicts Live, we probably won't remember what this is come year in review. And quite honestly, it's February and I don't remember what it was. So what was it?
Red Alert.
Oh, Red Alert. See, I didn't even remember. That's also an appropriate event. Let's see, Ralphie. So which would you prefer?
I really like the mini events because usually the dialogues are really good. We really have a strong story, and it kind of allows us to make the transition between the huge events and the weeks of cooldown. So, and we have content, so that we do we do not have to rush. So to me, it's really great to have a week. Like I think it's like 10 days, the mini events.
So you have the schedule right now, as it's been since since they brought updates back after 2019 when we went months without one. It's been a 2-week mini event, so 14 days, and then it's a week off. Then you get a main event that's right now they're 5 weeks. Previously they were 4 weeks, and then you get another week off, and then you go into a mini event.
Like the mini events, you can, even if you go slow, you can finish them in like 1 week. So after you have finally like 2 weeks to really slow down,
Uh-oh.
anything. So
Oh.
I think it's kind of a good new scheme.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah,
I'll say so. I think that the mini events force EA to be a little more creative, but ultimately you end up with the same thing you would have gotten with a level update, except you don't have as much time to complete it. So like Graham was saying, and you can't go back. So, you know, you've got that 2 weeks, and eventually the stuff's all going to come back in a mystery box. That just seems
Yeah.
to be the pattern these days. But so you don't have all that time you used to have to do a level update, but you do have you end up with the same amount. You end up with a premium combo, which the level updates always had. You almost always end up with a character and building just in a prize track form, and then you get some bonus decorations and things. So I do think that it kind of forces them to be a little bit more creative. But you know, I miss level updates, quite honestly, because I always thought they were really exciting to get a level update, and then you know, new players could still experience the same thing. So we've kind of been talking about. Go ahead.
Like sometimes the mini.
Oh, we froze again. Uh-oh. This is when the edit button comes into play.
Dear mate.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Do you hear me? Yeah,
I heard nothing.
I remember. I think it was in 2017, before the invasion before Christmas.
Okay.
I think there were mini events to like announce the huge Christmas event.
Yes. Yeah,
So
it was like a
sometimes
prequel.
it kind of announce the huge events like 1 week after.
Yeah.
So it can be good as well.
So in these episodes we've been talking kind of about like how Tsto has evolved over the years, and we really break it down into there's 3 eras of Tsto. You have what we call the golden age, which as we've done these look back episodes, we realize it wasn't as good as we think it was, but we call that 2012 to 2014. So that's when it first started. And then you had like Stonecutters in there, and the first Christmas event with the wheel, and Easter, and those kinds of things. And then you have 2015 to 2018, where it was this new style of gameplay where they broke things up into they called them either issues or phases or acts, but you had like the multi-act event, but it still kind of stuck to the old format. But they added crafting into it and things like that. And then now you've got the 2019 to present, which is the era of the multi-event, which we all know is just the rinse and repeat. There's no other element into it. And I should have added to that 2015 to 2018 era, we had the element of like the casino games and other games that were part of it. So like the Osaka Flu, those kinds of elements in gameplay. So what we've broken it down to be, though, is that the original era, the what we call the golden age, the gameplay was good. Like Stonecutters, far and away everybody's favorite update. But if you sit down and you look at the prize track, the prizes were actually pretty crappy, because you had the only character you had was number 1. Everything else was costumes. Everything else was decorations. And in today's day, when we talk about events, we always say like that doesn't make a good event. We'd all be complaining about it today. But the gameplay was really good. So it brings us to this question of, would you rather have better prizes as we have now? Because I do think the prize tracks right now are really strong. They've been really good, or better gameplay. So I know everybody's answer would be a hybrid of both. I'd rather have both, but in this scenario, you have to pick one. So let's start with let's go back to Graham on this. So would you rather have better prizes or better gameplay?
I think the gameplay makes it more fun. I barely remember half the prizes that I get, but I remember the little things like the mini games. Stonecutters was re-released as returning content, and for someone that doesn't have very much money, I went and bought a boatload of donuts because of the things that I'd heard about how good the event was, and the things I'd seen in neighbours' towns from when they had it, or toilet paper in neighbours. neighbour interactions. Really, really missed them. And they brought back tappables, but they made it simple. You just go and tap 15 and that's part of the prize, the task list. And there you go, job done. But they brought them back and it was something to go hunt and squish. Good fun.
I agree. So you'd rather have better gameplay. You think the gameplay is more important than the prizes themselves?
Yeah, they figure out 4 sort of half decent prizes and a character for a prize track and a premium to go with it, just like they do in the mini events.
Mm-hmm.
But make playing for them fun. Not exactly difficult because you've got to think about newer players, but make it fun.
Well, so before I ask Paul, since Paul and Benjamin both were around in 2013, and you remember the wheel, that was. We talk about this. I think we talked about this in the episode with Bunny, where it's unfortunate because it's EA tried something and they'll never do it again, and it's a shame because they won't be creative like that again. But it was something different. It was hard because you couldn't necessarily, and the same with Easter too. You couldn't get everything. In that regard, like, how do you guys view Easter and Christmas 2013? Do you think that that's like something that should never come back, or would you not mind seeing that type of event come back with a little bit of an easier way to play? And also, I'm giving you a chance to vent your extreme frustration directly to EA about those two events if you'd like. Paul, you can go first on that one.
So I probably have a very unpopular opinion about those two events compared to most of the readers. I actually liked those events a lot, and I think I actually put that in the comments at one point and over the years, and I think I may have annoyed Alissa on that one.
It's not as unpopular as you think, because I look back on it and I actually think I enjoyed it too. So go ahead.
I liked the idea of the wheel, and I liked the idea of like swapping the eggs with the baskets. But I think you and Bunny brought up the other day about, there was no way to communicate who needed what color eggs, and then the odds ratios were super high. Like I remember feeling super fortunate that I got Hugs Bunny, but Sherry Bobbins was just out of my reach, and you pretty much had to be on the game like 24/7 in order to get enough turns or eggs or spins or whatever it was in order to hit the odds ratio that you would end up with her. So to me, I'd like to see them bring that stuff back. I thought it was a lot of fun, but maybe just tone down how difficult the thresholds are.
Okay.
A little challenge, but not too crazy.
Okay. Benjamin?
Well, I found those super frustrating. I played like every 3 hours. I tried to, and in getting the prize track and not getting the ones that I wanted, it just frustrated me to no end. I wouldn't want to back. Maybe something simpler that wasn't a wheel, so you can get everything. I like that, but that both of those frustrated me to no end.
Yeah, they were frustrating. It was like playing. It was like playing Wordle. It's very frustrating.
I was kind of like that with crafting, especially when crafting involved leveling up. And
you don't want me to go on a rant about crafting, Graham.
I always had stuff that I wanted to get, and I never could. Even though I could finish the event easily, I could never get what I wanted to do, crafting, like the Springfield Zoo. I finished the event with days to go, and crafting like an idiot, and thinking, oh, I'm not going to get there. Oh, dear me.
That's crazy. All right, so let's go back to the better prizes or better gameplay. So, Paul, what would you rather have? Better prizes with easier, like tap, rinse, and repeat, or better gameplay, kind of like what we saw at Stonecutters?
To me, at this stage of the game, I think it's the better gameplay. So I will admit I am not a big reader of the dialogue. I know you all mentioned how much you love the dialogue. To me, I like the gameplay, I think, more. And we're at this stage, I think, where most of the nostalgia stuff is already in the game. So some of the stuff, like I've seen every episode of The Simpsons, but I don't remember every single character or having like an encyclopedia memory like Safi does for this stuff. Mr. McGregor was great. It was nostalgia from early on in the show, and I remembered him. But a lot of the other characters I don't. So I feel like having something more fun and entertaining, where you've got multiple different things to do, like tapping characters and a mini game and the main prize track, collecting, widgets to get the prizes. Like having all three or more elements is more entertaining to me.
Okay. How about you, Benjamin?
Yeah, I would go with gameplay. I mean, prizes are great, but like he was saying, sometimes I don't recognize the prizes because I haven't watched every episode of The Simpsons ever, unfortunately. I like the game. I like playing the game. I don't always read everything. I may just skip through some things that people I don't know or recognize. I may just skip through their stuff. But yeah, if it's fun, I'm going to keep playing. That's why I'm still here 9 years later.
Exactly. How about you, Ralphie?
Well, I think after 10 years for the game, new contents, like the characters are not huge characters of the series. So of course I would rather like have new way of playing, like just connect every 4 hours to have a character we don't even remember. It's not like it's great, but I think having new way of playing would be more fun. Like even the wheel. Actually, I really enjoyed the wheel in Easter because, like, unlike today, you couldn't be positive about the fact that you will have all the content of the update. So yeah, I think it would allow us to change our way of playing.
So it's like there's almost like where the gameplay is really good and challenging. There's an element of, oh no, I might not get everything. I better I better log in. I better play.
Now, like in 4 days, you can finish an act in half time of the whole act. So it will change. But I can understand that after 10 years for the game, it's quite hard to change new thing in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that the gameplay needs to be smarter. I don't think they need to bring back crafting. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with crafting being dead and buried. But I do think they need to do things more challenging, even if it's just something like they did at Christmas where they added the trivia. Because it just added a little bit of an element of like, oh, this is a little bit challenging. Let me think about this for a minute. Let me stop and take pause. Instead of just
go on Google.
Instead of just tap, rinse, and repeat, which is kind of the cycle we're in. We've been in since 2019.
But I remember it was, I don't remember which year, but there were Halloween events with the huge burn count, I think, which was kind of hard to get. I don't remember the year. I think it was the Harry Potter event.
Oh, the one that wasn't very Halloween-y?
Yeah. And I remember really struggling to have the Burns characters. So it was, this year was kind of challenging.
Yeah, and they've really kind of in this new era, this multi-event era, and they've taken away any element of challenge. And I really was hoping that this past Christmas event would be the start of it, because they had tappables before that. They had that, then they had Northward Bound, and I thought like, oh, we're gonna get into this, and then we get the Red Alert event, which I forgot all about, and and the Cirque du Simpsons, which we're in right now, which is again just tap, rinse, and repeat, tap, rinse, and repeat. So
we just brought up the Monty Mort battles from that Magic Halloween. Oh dear me.
Like there's no challenge element to it right now. Like you used to have those battles with that Halloween, the Wizard Halloween, or you had like superhero battles.
It was just 4 hour rinse and repeat, but you needed a lot of them.
Yeah. It was something different every 4 hours. It wasn't, just clear your town and leave.
Definitely with the superhero battles, as well as like the sports ones where you had like the athletes fight off each other from that second era. Those were fun. They were, and the mini games as well. I mean, the first series of posts I wrote were mini games, so I really enjoyed those. So definitely agree with these guys that bring that kind of level of complexity is a nice or throwback that they should bring back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the dig sites.
Say that again.
The dig sites.
The
we
dig site.
We got two of them. One from Halloween. I forget what the other one's from, but they're quite good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I mean they basically
museum.
recycled the same thing. Go ahead, Paul.
Sorry, I was going to say the museum also, I think, had one. And even the building upgrades, like, yeah, they're not always as fun, but like you could have done something like with the circus event with like just having another element where you'd have to go collect some other currency so that you could, expand your circus or,
Paul, are
add
you suggesting they should have added crafting?
No, not crafting, building upgrades. Slightly different, but pretty much crafting.
Well, let's talk real quick about the circus event that we're in right now, since everybody's playing right now. What do you guys think? Like, do you think it's a good event? Do you think so we're almost to Act 3 at this point. I think it's fair game to start criticizing the event. What do you think? Do you think that it's something that was neat in concept, kind of a dud in production, or I know Safi and I are going to do an Addicts Live about this when it's over, and we'll give our thoughts. But I'm just curious because we see feedback all the time, but we don't always see things everyone says. So Ralphie, I'll ask you, what do you think of the event?
I like the fact that we can create a real area around the circus, but if you're a freemium player, you can't have a circus building in the price track, so it's kind of silly. Like if you don't spend donuts in this update, you'll just have decoration and some building, but like it won't be you won't have a building that you can build things around, which is actually it's my case. I didn't want to spend donuts on this update, so I will only have something to add to my Krusty Land and nothing real of a circus.
Okay.
So I think it's the main drawback of the update.
That's
but
fair.
It's kind of a good one.
That's fair.
This one.
Benjamin, what do you think?
I kind of agree with him. If I didn't have the donuts to spend, this update would be a dud. I mean, I like the seals being different colors and the tents you can buy being different colors, and it's cool that you can do all that and have your little circus area, which is fine for the Simpsons. I have a zoo and all that, so it makes sense to have a little circus area. I mean, it's not a super fun event, but if it's fine. It passes the time.
Something to do.
Something to do. Something to tap.
They could have added something like, I don't know, circus games or something, like.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
A ring toss or something.
I was just going to say a ring toss.
Can you name another circus game?
Knock the cans down? Is that a circus game or is that a carnival game? I think that's a carnival game.
It's a carnival game.
But they could have done something like balance the ball on the seal's nose or walk across the tightrope. I mean, as it is, the high wire, the lion or the tiger doesn't even cross it. It's not.
Yeah, that's so lame. That tiger thing, I was so excited for it when I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah, Safi was too.
I think.
I was highly disappointed by it. The thing doesn't even. It's just. Paul, what do you think?
So this is one of the themes that I was the most excited about in a while. I think I like the generic events where it's just like, whose town doesn't need a circus or a zoo, or like some of those kind of generic themes to me. But I do agree. I think it is missing. It's a really fun theme, but it needs some sort of other element. Like even if they brought back, I don't remember if you remember the Wild West one where they had like you got all the prizes and then there was like a cutscene at the end of each act. Yeah. Like that would have maybe been a kind of cool thing to just throw in for. You could add a little like circus, tightrope walking or something at the end of each or something. But I do like the event mainly because of the theme. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Graham?
Bear with.
Oh, did we lose you again?
Yeah, the laptop's glitched out a couple of times. I've just got you back, I hope.
Oh, okay. So we're just talking about
so
the circus event. What you think about it?
So it's one of those. I remember very little of it already. My little town's about to finish Act 2. If it next time I switch my phone on, it's job done. I've only just started it in my main town because
Oh boy,
I ended up using two devices. Using originally a Kindle for my little town, which is now as big as my main town. And my main town's got stupid amounts of donuts, so if I end up having to rush, I can rush. So I think I've just got the first prize of Act 1. And I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like the little train of things. The dialogue's been fun, and the idea behind it is interesting. But I'm not exactly paying attention. I'm sort of running on autopilot because it switched the thing on, collect a load of tasks, set a load of tasks, and then turn it off for 4 hours.
So, rinse and repeat. Tap, rinse and repeat. It's the way it goes.
Yep.
What it's been like for the past few years, it's been a lot of rinse repeat the same. So that's the third phase.
The cycle we're in.
It's just looking at the returning content and thinking, not so much do I want it or not, but how many of them do I want?
It's true. So I want to kind of end it with this. If you could change something about Tsto for the next event, whether that's bring something back from the past, an element, or like do something totally different, or like an event you'd like to see, what would you like to see or change? Like I said, so we've already talked about making the game a little bit tougher, having some things like that. So what's a change? It doesn't have to be like a whole full scale event or anything, but like what's kind of an event that you would like to see, or like a gameplay item you'd like to have changed, or any of that, aside from just the generic, I don't want to do tap, rinse, and repeat anymore. Ralphie, let's start with you on that one.
I think what would be great, like to have something new, even if it's from the past, like just a mini games or a little like scenes at the end of the event, to add more fun. Like when you finished, you just don't have 2 dialogues and it's over. Like either that or a mini game to add more fun during the whole event. Since it's like 5 weeks now, just to have something to enjoy during 5 weeks. So I think a mini game would be great.
Okay, so bring back a mini game.
Yeah.
Benjamin, what do you think?
Oh man, that's so many things I would like to see this game do. It's a hard question. I'm glad that they did the Springfield Heights. I've been wanting the expansion for a really long time. I think more stuff for the Krusty Land. I'm a big Krusty Land person. I like my Krusty Land. I want more rides. Now that I'm putting it in Springfield Heights, I want to put more stuff in there that makes it look like it's supposed to be. There. Other than that, more land. I would always take more land. Who doesn't need more land?
I don't. That's always the complaint that makes me laugh the most, because I'm like, I've been playing this game for so long. I know how do people have land issues? I didn't even buy all the land yet. The main land, like I still don't even have all the main Springfield land, let alone Springfield Heights. But I still have tons of land to use, and it's just, but I don't know. I'm not an expansive decorator. I think I'm very like compact with things. That might be why. Paul, what do you think?
So I'm compact too. I've got tons of land and I've got nothing in my inventory. Everything has to be out in my town. But I also don't like.
That's something I have never heard before.
Yeah.
Wow, you have nothing in your inventory. Not even a hot dog cooker bot.
I may have a couple of the Heights building expansions in my inventory just because I don't know what to do with them and there wasn't enough room for them at the time. But
okay.
I have to have everything. If I earn it, I've got to have it out on display. It can't be sitting in an inventory. But what I really want to see is, so in addition to kind of the mini games within a main event or multiple things to do within an event instead of just the prize track, I really want a nature/animals event, like an Earth Day event. One of the things that I've really wanted for a long time since it's been on the bracket battle was Laddie. And they've got to have tasks. They can't be NPCs. We need some animals that have tasks. And bring back Citizen Solar and Solar Lad and Citizen the Wind and the Solar superheroes.
Yeah. Yep.
They haven't been back since the original event, and I missed them, and I haven't been able to get them since. So they need to make a return.
You can have mine. Graham, what do you think?
Yeah, bring in some of the earlier style of gameplay back, but without it being too long and drawn out. Maybe instead of having acts on set dates, have acts that time, so if you finish week 1, you can start week 2 after a couple of days. Oh, great.
Uh-oh.
I wish
I fixed it. You're good.
I don't know what happened there, but so for newer players, they need the time. For older players, then are we still working?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, for newer players, they need the time, but for the older established players, you can do a 9-day act in 4 or 5 days. And if it then had, right, you've completed this, you can start Act 2 now and deal with all the side quests and then get on with doing designs rather than sitting waiting, thumb twiddling and wondering what to do with yourself. Because you can't really design anything until you've got it all together.
Makes sense. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's a good point.
The other thing I really wish they bring back neighbour actions, but something that benefits the neighbours and not just, we'll give you 5 things you can deliver to your neighbours one day. You got 100 neighbours. What are you going to do with 5 of them?
Well, if you played Whacking Day, you would know you used to be able to give your neighbor a snake egg, and then you'd have little snakes slithering around their town, and that were nearly impossible to find.
I remember things that Naughty or Nice did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And go and drop such and such into a neighbour's town, or
well, even just finishing what they started, like friendship prizes, like that would be a good thing to do.
I missed
That's so annoying not having that.
Yeah. They just kind of let it die. It's unfortunate.
It's not the only thing we should finish.
Say that again, Ralphie.
Yeah, I was just saying it's not the only thing in like prize in terms of prize speaking, like the Road to Riches or anything else. Like they stopped, but
yes,
it was kind of a good idea, especially for the neighbors' actions. Like it gave something else to do. So
exactly, and Road to Riches at least gave you something to spend your money on.
For those who have this money.
Yeah.
It's the perfect one for the world's largest toilet.
I need my toilet. That sounds really funny. The world's largest toilet needs to make an appearance. It's been 10 years. EA, bring it in the damn game now. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Talking of friends prizes, I made the great mistake of starting my second town Christmas 2019, and guess what that brought us?
COVID.
Nope. Gingerbread Simpsons couch. Promptly broke all neighbour visits. So I'm still 2 years on. When I get round to it, I've still got 5 friend point prizes to get.
Oh boy. Well, if they fixed it, so you should be able to cycle around now.
Yeah, but now my town's so big that by the time I've collected everything, I just want to get off and do something else.
So we're going to end things. I still have reader comments to read, but we're going to end this portion. Safi's got some rapid fire lightning lane. What am I at Disney? Lightning round questions.
Rapid fire, yeah, questions definitely. I mean, yeah, Ralphie mentioned he likes mini games, and some other people did too. And then you guys brought up some of the stuff I was going to ask, but basically we'll go one by one. I'll start with Alissa actually, just to kind of give you an idea.
Thanks.
It's just some quick questions, and I just want your answers as quickly as possible. So, starting with Alissa. Question 1, what's your favorite episode of The Simpsons?
Homer at the bat.
Homer at the bat. Who's your favorite character of The Simpsons on the TV show?
Oh, I got to do them all? Okay. Well, like Marge, I love Homer.
Okay, and your favorite character in the game?
Duffman.
Duffman.
Ooh,
And what's your favorite task in the game?
I feel like this is like my about me section. What'd you do? Just copy on what I wrote? Hank Scorpio's flamethrower.
Flamethrower. And rank these 3 from best to worst. Springfield Heights, Krusty Land, and the Squidport and Ornate Pier area.
Well, Squidport's the best. And do I have to answer the rest?
Krusty Land and Heights.
Krusty Land, then Springfield. Springfield Heights is the worst. I hate Springfield Heights.
And rank these 3 mini games from best to worst. The excavation sites and old ruins, if you will. The Where's Maggie game, and the Homer's Chiliad, where you have to get the tortoises.
None of these games I play. So I'm going to say Homer's Chiliad, Where's Maggie, and then the excavation site. I don't play any of them, though. I don't think I feel like I've played Where's Maggie once.
And these guys kind of mentioned this, but which one do you want to see more importantly, or come back sooner? The Friends Points prizes or the Roads to Riches?
Roads to Riches, and I want them to put the world's largest toilet in
it. And lastly, which event would you want to see come back as a sequel?
I hate sequels. Tap ball.
Tap ball. All right, great. So just quickly.
I should add a disclaimer. I don't play Where's Maggie, not because it's not a good game. I just play with my sound off, and it's very difficult to play that game with your sound off. So that's why. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So favorite episode of The Simpsons, Ralphie?
Well, my favorite, I don't think I have one. I'd say Who Kills Mr. Burns, but it would be so generic, so maybe this one, but just to say one.
Sounds good. Benjamin, favorite episode?
Yeah, I agree with him. Who Killed Mr. Burns? I wanted to just figure out who it was. I was played by Maggie, but you know.
Paul?
Well, besides Stonecutters, probably the one where Ralph writes the Choo Choo Choose Valentine's Alissa.
Choose you. Great choice. And Graham, what's your favorite episode of The Simpsons?
I kind of like them all, and I can't think of anything specific enough for me to say I've got a favorite.
Nice.
Sorry, it's a cop-out.
Monorail.
We'll let it go. We'll let it slide. I think I know Ralphie's answer to this. Ralphie, who's your favorite character on the TV show and in the game?
Well, actually, it's not the one you think. Yeah, I think maybe Homer, because my mom always told me that despite all the things he could do in the series, he always was like good, kind-hearted. So maybe Homer just for that. Because and he's one of the main, so
and in the game too, Homer?
Sorry?
Favorite character in the game?
In the game, I would say because he's the main of the game.
That's good. Benjamin, what about you? Favorite character in the TV show and favorite in the game?
Favorite character TV show, Mo. I just like Mo. Everything about Mo is funny. The whole answering the telephone and never getting, that he's being pranked. Super funny.
And in the game?
In the game, I had to go with Gil because he makes it super interesting. I'm like, I want Gil. I want Gil in my town. Give me Gil.
Nice. Paul?
Yeah.
So I think in the show, probably Spider Pig. I guess it's a movie technically, but and then in the game, I really like running after what's his name, the alien from Stonecutters.
Oh, number 51.
Yeah.
And Graham, your favorite character in the show and in the game?
I used to be as mischievous as Bart, but it probably would be Homer. Because I can kind of sympathise with Homer. He's doing his best and not quite getting it right, daft as he is. That sort of fits. In the game, weirdly, I really like when they brought in Stephen Hawking.
Oh, nice. Interesting. I like that choice. We'll go backwards this time, ranking best to worst. Springfield Heights, the Krusty Land, and then the Squidport Ornate Pier area. So, Graham, best to worst. Springfield Heights, Krusty Land, and the boardwalk area.
I hate the grind on Springfield Heights. Absolutely hate it. Krusty Land's sort of much of a muchness. It's a shame that when they brought it into the main town, they didn't start making it earn normal currency and kept using the tickets, which don't appear to be affected by bonus. And Squidport, you can use the tiles for all sorts now. They're brilliant.
It's a Squidport favorite.
Yeah.
How about you, Paul, ranking those three?
So I think Squidport would be my favorite, especially because that was the first expansion. And then Krusty Land, and then Heights. It's just too much of a grind. I like the idea, too much of a grind.
See, Safi, I'm not the only one.
All right, fair enough. Benjamin?
Yeah, I would go. Squidport was my favorite since it was the first one. I'm kind of bummed that they don't do more Squidport stuff, you know, put in the game. I mean, the boards are fine. Yeah, I get the submarine and I get the boards, but you know, more stuff that you can put over there would be nice. Then it would be Country Land, and then Springfield Heights. I really hate Springfield Heights. You know, everything about it's not fun.
And Ralphie, Squidport, Krusty Land, and the Springfield Heights. How would you rank them?
I guess everyone will hate me, but Springfield Heights is my favorite. Just for the concept to have something real new and with different kind of gameplay. Then I'd say Krusty Land, just because I'm a roller coaster fan. And I love that kind of thing. And finally, then Squidport, because I don't see it as a real expansion. To me, it's in the cities and it's the less real interesting thing as an expansion.
Fair enough. And then ranking these three, the excavation games, the Where's Maggie game, and the Homer's Chiliad game. Graham, how would you rank those?
I love the excavation games. The Homer's Chiliad is great fun, but when it spreads, it can be an absolute nightmare. And sorry, I've forgotten what the other one was already.
Where's Maggie?
Where's Maggie? When I started my second town 2 years ago, I've still got the quest to play that the first time because my town's just too big. So I'm going to nuke, and then I'm going to put a couple of houses out, and then I'm going to play Where's Maggie. So I might actually find her.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm not short of donuts. I don't need the donuts.
Paul, excavation minigame, Where's Maggie minigame, and Homer's Chiliad. Paul?
So I think as far as fun, I like the Chiliad because I call it the hallucinogenic turtles because that's pretty much what's going on there. I just like going to try to find them, but I think the style of the building and the bonus of the donuts with Where's Maggie, that's the one I only play consistently, but not that I need donuts at this point.
And Benjamin, Homer's Chiliad.
Yeah, for me, it's Where's Maggie because I play that one the most. I designed my town so I could find Maggie really easy. I put everything in one little section, so it's super fun, easy to find her and get the free donuts. Then it would be the excavation and then Chiliad.
Great. And Ralphie?
On top, I will put Maggie because of the donuts. And as I'm always playing with some music on my phone, it's my little challenge every day to find Maggie without real sound. In second, I will put the. It was not the Chiliad, it was the third one.
The dig site.
Yeah, because I really like the updates that brings this one, and it's kind of fun. And the Chiliad third because I don't ever play this one. So even when I had this one, So that's it.
And which one do you want more, Ralphie? Friends points or Road to Riches? Which one do you want to see with new items?
Yeah, friends points, because
Friends points?
it's a real gameplay difference from just grinding with money. Like you will, and going to see friends can give you ideas of decorations or anything. So I like the idea of the interaction with the neighbors.
Let's get Benjamin. Friends points or Roads to Riches? Which one do you want?
Oh, sheesh. I'm gonna go friends points because I miss going to friends towns. I miss interacting with them. It's a bummer. I don't do it as much because there's no reason to. Roads to Riches. I have so much money. It wouldn't be that great to have more of that.
Paul?
Yeah, I think friends points from the standpoint of it's just more fun. From a practicality standpoint, Roads to Riches probably would be better because I need to burn through some cash and donuts. But yeah,
And,
friends points.
Graham?
Yeah, friends points would be great, but not necessarily for newer players. And it'd be nice if there was something that was worth spending in-game cash on nowadays. I mean, even when you get the decorations in a price track and you can buy more, they're not for cash anymore. They're always for donuts. And it's not like they earn you anything or what have you. They're just things that they So,
Right. No.
and how long has that last prize been? Coming soon.
And last question, which event do you want to see a sequel for, Graham?
Casino, so they can switch the mini games back on.
Casino sequel. Paul?
Probably the Destination Springfield / I know we've already had a sequel to that before, but
Right.
I just loved how many characters we got, and there's still a bunch of countries that we could get. I have a whole row of my Springfield that's just around the world countries, so I'd like that back.
That's a good one. Benjamin?
Yep. He may have stepped away for a minute. We'll come back to him. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, I missed that. What?
Sorry, which event would you most like to see a sequel for?
I would guess Stone Cold 3. Why not? Let's do it.
Sounds good. And lastly, Ralphie, which event do you want to see a sequel for?
I was also thinking about the Destination Springfield as one of my favorite updates. I would love to see another one, maybe some different countries. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just chip back in quickly. At Destination Springfield, I managed to get an airport finally and returning content, but the timer for the tickets is constantly stuck on 20 minutes. So no tickets, no use. That'd be good, actually. Build an airport in my little town.
All right, so we're gonna hear from the rest of the readers of the Addicts community. You guys left some comments that we asked for about your favorite event, so I'm gonna just jump into these, and when I'm done, because there's a lot of them, anybody wants to add some comments to that, you're welcome to. I asked what their favorite event was, and if they had anything else they wanted to share. So Neil Cad says Stonecutters. Vibro Vortex says Halloween 2020. They started in September 2018. SJ says, definitely Halloween 2012. Started playing in September, and when the first Treehouse of Horrors event kicked in, I was hooked. Can't believe that it was almost 10 years ago. Karen's Quality says, number 1 is Stonecutters, 2 is everything else. Rose says the casino event. Jerry Gerd says Whacking Day. Whacking Day. CJ Brown LV says 1 Stonecutters, 2 almost every Halloween except last year's. 3 that Christmas when the Regalians tried to take over. Sorry, the Regalians tried to take over, and we got Santa Claus, Buddha, Jack Frost, Kwanzaa, Dr. Hibbert, etc. And then mini events since 2019. Most of these multi-act events are just too long. Fed says, agreed, adding to CJ's comment, agreed, even mini events are a bit too long. 2 weeks seem redundant considering even moderate playing allows you to clear out the prize track after 6 days. Multi-events are the same, but worse. Ness says, Moe's Ark Springfield Zoo. Grigette says, First, superheroes. I'm too much of a superhero fan. Second, Whacking Day. First event, I visited friends. 3, Stonecutters. Fun daily questions, but I didn't make it through the prize track. 4, Monorail. Great addition to our games. 5, Sideshow Bob. Was excited to add Bob to our game, and I was even able to craft one of everything. 6, Clash of Clones. I got to visit random Springfields and see new designs and then trash their castles. Diane adds, I gotta agree with Clash of Clones and the random neighbor function. Jay says, casino update for sure. Missed the old big events. Mr. Rooney to you. Hi, Keith. Superheroes and most Christmas events. Will says the Squidport and Monorail were game changers. Jovis2 says Springfield Zoo. Fred Frog, Stonecutters, and ones where you went to friends' Springfields to gain extra points. John Dale, I love the old events where you had to tap creatures in your village for points, like the snakes on the Whacking Day event. Also, do you know if they're planning anything special for the anniversary? Well, it seems that they're not. Tony, best was Stonecutters by a country mile. Worst was the one with Caveman Mo and Slave Master Skinner. I could never finish that one, and that is the only event I have been totally unable to complete any parts. Easter Wheel of Crap was pretty bad too. Let's see. Fed also added, I started in November 2019, so I would have to say Abe in Toyland. It's what made me fall in love with this game. Worst was probably the February event from 2020, the Game of Games, the sequel. Klingon, I am going to be the minority of this one and say Stonecutters. Edgar Newman, I started in 2014. Best update was the railroad and the airport. Bort says, I only started playing in 2020, but I think the best is definitely Into the Simpsonverse. Dee Buick, I'm assuming I'm saying that right. Best ever, Stonecutters by a mile. Worst, Valentine's and Easter 2014, both with the dreaded wheel. It's funny, everybody thinks Easter had the wheel. It had mystery or Easter boxes. Same concept, just different. I spent the whole Valentine's event tapping away, trying to get the Tunnel of Love, only to end up not getting it. I've been playing since Halloween 2013. I know we like to complain about the game, but you can play without spending anything, and if you don't want to. A lot of other games make it just about impossible to carry on without spending. I think it's an amazing game, regardless of any small issues we have with it. Synapse. Since I started playing in 2017, I think my favorite act was Moe's Ark. I found the concept of creating the zoo very interesting. I would also consider the Mafia update, Springfield Jobs. They couldn't remember the name of it. Hobby 13, Whacking Day and Stonecutters. This is one I know Safi liked this comment. Aknid says, I've been playing since almost the very start, summer of 2012, after return to the store after being pulled to fix bugs. And my favorite events were probably Stonecutters and Whacking Day. I really disliked the Easter event where eggs were hidden in your town. Some friends made them very hard to find. I never really cared for crafting or any other neighbor events. I actually really liked the prize wheel and would have loved to have it back. I truly leveled the playing field and gave new players an equal chance as donut hoarders like myself. I'm still hoping one day that we'll get Mr. McGregor.
Oh, yeah.
This was written obviously before the Circus event started. Swissy00. I started playing the very first day Tsto was available. My favorite event of all time, finding this site. I appreciate that. In the beginning, I had a hard time finishing an event, which led to some frustrating times until I found this site. I can't recall not finishing an event since then. I've enjoyed almost every event Tsto has thrown at us, with Whacking Day topping my list. No doubt they kept us busy tapping on a daily basis. While I enjoy the relaxing pace this past year, I wish they would. I was guessing this is supposed to say I wish they would put the same effort into their events as they did in the first few years. I'm Just Perks adds, the last Christmas event was my favorite in quite some time, but I'm still a big fan of the early events. 2013 Halloween and 2014-2015 Christmas events are my top 3. Hobbs 7714. 1, Monorail. I keep expanding it all over my town. 2, Stonecutters, best gameplay. Squidport is number 3, maxed with the entire theme areas like Theater District, Pride District, and Valentine's District. 4, Around the World, built my own Epcot with all different countries. 5, Christmas Every Year, built an entire North Pole and Canada area in the new release land. Catherine says, only been playing since January 2021, so only 1 year, but Northward Bound, but that's probably due to the Black Friday offers and new land. The Christmas event was I'm assuming brilliant. Looking forward to seeing what this year brings. Justin says, I started The Simpsons Tapped Out on May 29th, 2013. This game drips nostalgia if you're a fan of the television series. It brought endless hours of enjoyment and, of course, frustration over gameplay updates. I stopped altogether playing for 4 years in there somewhere, but have nonetheless stuck with it because, like you, I'm addicted. Favorite event of mine was Treehouse of Horror 2013. I'm a fan of Halloween. At least that was more Halloween-y back then. Happy 10-year anniversary to the game some of us love to hate. Thank you, Tsto Addicts, for being the go-to website for Tapped Out, and special thanks to customer service help staff over the years trying their hardest to put makeup on a pig. One question in the back of my mind is, why didn't EA at some point already think to release this game on Nintendo Switch console? All right, I'm going to cut that off there. You guys are killing me with these comments. Rob says, not that I don't appreciate the comments, they're just very long. Rob says, I started playing around October 2012, I believe. It was while Ghost Mod was released, the Gypsy Fortune Teller Shop. I remember the Ghost Vac and the community prizes. It'd be nice to see events with community prizes again. My favorite's Halloween 2012, as it got me addicted to this game. Stonecutters, it was epic on so many levels. For a while, it didn't have any setup in town, but it's finally back as I slowly put my town back together. I nuked in March of 2016. 3 Northward Bound, 4 Monorail. Haven't played in any town except Little Lisa's Recycling and recycling centers for making tracks. Otherwise, all the buildings and tracks are not currently placed, but it was a fun event. 5 Around the World event was decent. I have a giant airport in town. I miss Squidport, Whacking Day, Homerland, and anything back then. Least favorite, Easter. With the Wheel of Doom, hated that thing. Egg hiding was stupid, to put it bluntly. Halloween 2021. It wasn't Halloween. It was taken from a Treehouse of Horror scene, but it wasn't Halloween. 3 Pagan Christmas. 4 Superheroes 1 and 2. I don't know why I was hired. I was hired during both those events. Okay. 5 Bart Royale. I'd really like to see EA stop being so boring with multi-events and get back to the early days with community prizes and such. Gary S. says, I couldn't tell you when I started playing this game, but it was during the first Valentine's event. The one I enjoyed the most was the Easter event with all the bunnies around our towns. A number of us were lucky enough to win a Fabergé egg towards the end. The events back then were great, and we were encouraged to visit our friends. And in this event, we had to leave eggs for our friends, and they left them back. Justin Watt says, question. Oh, well, this isn't going to be. Oh, question for Graham. How close are you to having your goal of 666? Well, you know what, Graham, we're going to get to that at the end, because let me just finish. I'm almost done with these. Sandra says, I started playing just before Clash of Clones event in 2014 when I was bedridden for 6 months. I'm not good at remembering all the events and their proper names, but a few that I really liked were the ones with the casino themed. Love having all the mini games. The pagan event, those singing stones were cool, and it was nice to have something that wasn't another Christmas event for a change. And the event with all the spy stuff, which brought some really clever decorations, and of course, what would Springfield be without the monorail? So appreciate that event too. Rhubarb Runner says one word, monorail. Greg Jabalinsky. Well, either all my neighbors decided to store their couch. Oh, that's about the couch glitch. Sorry. Jonah Lucas Pancho Nesser. No idea if I said that right, and I'm pretty sure I butchered all of it. Monorail was the best event. Will says, not about updates, but also I'm surprised it has lasted 10 years. Most town builders based of movies or TV usually end with only a few years, 2 or 3 max. This and Family Guy Quest for Stuff, it lasted a lot longer than expected. It's amazing. And finally, Justin Watt wants to know, Graham, how close are you to having achieved your goal of 666,666 donuts?
I hit that in Halloween 2020. And I've been tickling and grinding now and again, and took a break over Christmas. I have a target in mind, and it's not a million sprinkles. It's something specific and daft that I should achieve about a month from now, and I'll let you know. You might remember me posting. Last Christmas, I actually designed a little Lego machine that will do the grinding for me. All I've got to do is feed it trucks. I'll post a link when this video goes, and people can see my little thing tapping away. Just collect. Pick a box, collect. Pick a box, collect.
Okay. Go ahead.
Going back briefly at regards to donuts and stuff, something was mentioned earlier. It's one of the games that I do know of that you really can play for free.
Mhm.
I mean, it's good, and I still do contribute. Black Friday boxes, if there's something to buy, I'll buy tickets. If not, I'll buy golden scratchers just to put money in a game. But the only thing a player really needs to get that's premium is Golden Goose Realty. Anybody can play without spending sprinkles on anything apart from the stuff that's in the early days quest lines.
Yeah, it's
Golden Goose Realty you need. Everything else is optional.
It's pretty remarkable that this game has lasted 10 years. You can play completely free. There are no ads in the game. You can get as many premium currency as you really desire to by donut farming. And you're not required to, I mean, we said it already, but you're not required to spend money to get everything. It's one of the few games, as frustrating as it can be at times, that fact alone that you can achieve everything, unlock everything without spending a single dollar in the game is remarkable, especially the fact that it's been around for 10 years. Does anyone have any other final thoughts they'd like to add? Anyone? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I really appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's not easy putting yourself out there, so I really appreciate it. It's so glad to see some faces to the names we see on the site. This is kind of like a COVID era meetup. I like it.
Really, and you guys were just showed us like what a great community we have, and great representatives of the community. Really, it was a pleasure having you guys.
So,
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I figured I'm not talking to however many thousands or tens of thousands of readers you've got. I'm just having a chat with 6 friends.
That's the way to look at it. We're just having fun. So thank you guys for coming on. It's fun. It was just me and the boys. I enjoyed it. So thanks so much. And thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of the awesome Addicts community, and happy 10 years to Tsto. Here's the 10 more, hopefully that I won't have to write about, but here's the 10 more. So with that being said, we are off. Thank you again so much, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you guys on the next show. Bye-bye.
Good night.